paranormal, something that intrigues many people across the globe. This has been placed into media of all kinds, including books, including newspapers, TV, movies, and into the games. Now, I'm going to be going through a few of these spiritual games, talking about the good points, the bad points, what I think needs to be improved, what I perceive to be something that is a plus, what I think is a negative. This is based on my own opinion, and this will be happening over a few episodes. So we are going to be starting with two episodes or two games which are very similar in nature in terms of certain aspects, and these will be put against each other, performing for you. We're going to be starting for this is Demonologist versus Ghost Exile. For Demonologist, we do have a nice little base of operations to start off with. Now, you can't really interact with this apart from three little things, which are monitors that are on a wall. But you can see equipment from the get-go, just here what you can use throughout your missions. Now, you can't use them in the base, and not all of this equipment is available when you start unless you buy the equipment. We're going to be showing the buying of equipment in a moment, so I can show you how to do this. Now, there is a nice feel of inside the game. You do have this lovely ambience that comes in the game, especially when you're on site. And even the base of operations has a specific type of ambience for you once you get into the game. Now, you do have three monitors here. These monitors are how you progress in the game and how you activate, buy stuff, etc. Now, on the first monitor here, which is on the top right hand side, you can buy your equipment. Now, I do feel that the pricing for the equipment is expensive, considering you don't get much of a payout from the start missions, considering on how much you start with, and I will be showing you that in a moment. There is also some equipment that you have to level up before you can use and you can buy. So, for example, you also have a sanity pill here. Now, this is very important, and this is another reason why I'm pitting this game against Ghost Exile later down the line, because sanity is very important within this game. You do have equipment here, and the equipment, I do like the rustic feel of it, which it just feels more of a classic style of ghost hunting. You do have the ability to alter your character's appearance to whatever you see fit. It is very limited on what you can do now. You can place glasses, you can place a mask, you can change the character's gender, you can change the character's clothing from top to bottom. It is rather generic now, I feel, compared, but you can also change the hairstyle, the hair colour, skin colour, and you do have two presets that are available to you before you get started. One preset of a female, one of a male itself, and like I said, you can change it to whatever you see fit later down the line, and this sticks with you throughout your missions. Now, you do have the ability, which is something I do like, to alter your base of operations by buying a different location, such as the pub. That is something that is a plus, and there is more that is coming. This game is very much in development, so do bear with the devs. I should imagine that will be coming sooner rather than later. This is version 031. 0.3.1. You can also add other little things, little gimmicks such as a cat or radio to your missions. Now, going over to another screen, this screen itself is on the left hand side, and this will give you the ability to choose the missions you are. Now, one thing that I find as a bit of a downer is that to start off with, you only have one location until you level up to level 3, so you will be doing the same location multiple times before you can get up in level and before you can become any good. Now, needless to say, these levels itself are difficult to start off with. When you come onto this screen, it shows you the equipment that you start with as base as you can add, like I mentioned in the other screen. And there is an easy, medium, or hard level. These are unlockable by level, so you have to go up in the ranks, and this does alter the playthrough, what you get, and do be warned though, whatever equipment that you bring to your mission, if you buy it, you could lose it, but you do get an insurance payback of 50% on easy, 25 on medium, but nothing on hard. So that can be difficult, especially if you spend money which has been hard to grind for the items that you're buying. When you get into the game itself, on a hunt, you will come in, you'll see that there's three different monitors that are sitting here waiting for you to use. All three have a specific function. You have one here for camera, you have another one here to monitor your sanity. This is very important because if your sanity drops to a certain level, then the spirits will be hunting you, not you hunting them, and they will try and seek to make you join their ranks as a spirit yourself. So be warned with this. Keep it under control. The best way to do that is if your spirits, well, your sanity drops below a certain extent, come out to the tent, sit there for a little while, or get the sanity pills if you bought them, pop a couple, and you should be fine. Now there is some basic equipment that you start off with, which is these here. This EMF meter, for example, will measure the electromagnetic field within the area to tell us what type of ghost it is, or help to determine the type of ghost. I like the rustic feel of the equipment in use. It feels old-fashioned. It feels classic, as opposed to some other spiritual games that are out there. That is a big plus, in my opinion. In the game itself, while you're on location, there is a nice ambience in the buildings when you're walking around. This is the basis start that we have. We haven't got the other ones just yet, so you will have to do this level multiple times. There will be a different ghost each time, which is great, and there is another feature that I do like, and that's this interactive ability where you have to speak as to certain things and say certain characteristic words which will allow things to happen. There is ambiontic things that do happen here and there, and there is definitely jump scares that you will have to contend with the game as you play it. Now, it is advisable to play on multiplayer co-op because if you do kick the bucket during your mission, for example, if you become the hunted rather than the hunter, then there's somebody else that can stand there and assist if needed. But like I said, bear in mind, if you brought any equipment with you, you will lose it should you kick the bucket. If you do kick the bucket, you can assist by going behind the counters and help to find items and things around, but you can't interact with anything other than physically looking around to help. Now there is good things with this. Like I mentioned, you've got good appeal. There is a good feel to the location to start, but I do feel we needed more locations to start, not just one building, and the pricing needs to change as well, I'm afraid. There is a daily quest which you can do, which will give you extra money, which will help with the financial aspect of buying stuff, and there is an encyclopedia which you can use by pressing the escape button, and by clicking on the ghost type you can see the type of ghost that you think it might be. It'll tell you the evidence that you may need for it, and along with their strengths and weaknesses. Clicking on the evidence button, it will then give you the ability to put in the evidence that you have seen, that you think the spirit is. Now, putting in that evidence, it will then help to narrow down what kind of spirit it could be. Once you've narrowed it down, you click on the spirit itself, and then it will help you in the caravan, RV, whichever you want to call it, the tent, to go ahead with the exorcism of the spirit. Now, the exorcism of the spirit will come up here on this left hand monitor to tell you what you need to do to exorcise this specific entity. Moving on to Ghost Exile. Now in Ghost Exile we have a base of operations very similar to that of Demonologist. Now this is very much a little more interaction can be done in this game. So for example, coming in here you'll actually find a nice little changing area where you can edit your character, and with this edit facility, you do have a fair amount of things that you can do to change your character and their specific attributes. Now you can change them from literally the head, from the hair, from the gender. You can add accessories to them, so it gives it more of an identity to yourself rather than just a preset of here's a shirt, here's a pair of trousers, this is what you get. You can customize your character. It is limited at the moment. This game is very much in development, so we have no idea what their devs might add later on. And the devs are very good at bringing out new stuff to this game on a regular basis. There is things that are in development. For example, this going outside. There is stuff that is coming all the time, so keep watching out. There will be more stuff coming from these devs, and this has changed quite a bit since I first started playing it, so there is an aspect on how quickly things change. This was within a couple of months of changing. There is things that are being added, like I mentioned. Plus, as well, you do have a training facility right here, which allows you not only to go through topics and information, but also to go through and do a voice recognition to check your microphone and make sure everything is running. To start off with, you have 14 locations that you can go around. That is something that I feel is a major plus, because it gives you that variety of not needing to grind on one location or being stuck basically on one spot. You do have 4 different levels that you can do of difficulty, which is beginner, experienced, madman, and insane. Now you do have one thing here: if you do die throughout your mission, you do tend to lose your equipment. However, if you are playing on beginner or experienced, you do get a little bit of money back from that. Madman and insane, you don't get any money at all. So be warned on that. There is more locations that are being added, so keep a visual on that. The shop is relatively good because I do quite like that the pricing is a relatively acceptable pricing compared to the missions that you go on, especially if you are starting from scratch and you have no kit whatsoever, no money. You can still do certain things with base game equipment, such as even just looking for the spirit and find out what it is, then coming back. There is additional content, for example, as you can see here, school vents. If you're on the school mission, you can go into ventilation shafts, and that is a cool feature to me. You do have an outside base of operations, much like the tent from Demonologist. However, this one is in a container. You do start with some equipment that you can use, at least to identify the spirit, which is a major plus, and a task board that is in the back area. And in that task board, it will tell you other things that you could do to get extra points and extra money throughout your hunt. There is a feature on the top floor of the crate which has a little book. This book is very important. Now what you need to do is go around the location, and you need to be able to get evidence, or at least see evidence of specific things such as ectoplasm, ghostwriting, all of these. So you have to physically go in and do the hunt. Now when you do this, you come up here and then you place what you've seen into here and then press the start search. Now you can't just button bash this, you can't just add anything and hope it comes up. If you haven't seen it, it will not register, and so you will not get the spirit information that you want. Once you have got it though, you can share it off with the friends of whoever is with you doing the missions with you in the game. This does affect this specific thing, which is the encyclopedia, and it will add extra ghosts that you find where the question marks and the X's will disappear and be replaced by the spirit that you believe that you have found. You do have an encyclopedia here with a nice rustic feel to the book, rather than a PDA, and it does have information on the equipment that you can use, different spirits that are about, or ones that have been detected and come across. You also have information on sanity, and sanity once again is very important in this game because if your sanity drops below a certain level, you are in trouble because the ghost will hunt you as opposed to you hunting the spirit. Once again, in the same sort of fashion, you can click on each type of evidence that you have found on location at the moment, which will narrow down the field of the spirit that you're in. In the RV, you also have this, which is a nice little map which will go around the entire of the location. Now, if you're on multiplayer, this is very useful because you can direct whoever you have with you to go to wherever you need to, and you can see them on the map as a dot. You also have another little bit of kit here, which is a camera which you can actually watch your friends walking around, providing they have a camera in the location. So if your sanity is dropped to a certain degree, you can still do a ghost hunt, but you'd have to potentially do it from inside the van. You can still direct them on where to go, what to see, etc. Now we will be looking here just now at the left hand screen. This shows the sanity levels. At the moment, as you can see, me and my friend are currently playing the game. He's at 71% and he's now about to interact with this Ouija board. Now Ouija boards are brilliant, however they do come at a risk. Now just interacting with this Ouija board will drop your sanity down quite a bit. Now the atmosphere, once again, is a really good atmosphere. It's got a nice chilly feel to it. It does keep you on edge. Some spirits like to play with lights or turn the power off, and that does hinder your gameplay, but at the same time it adds to the suspense of the game. So they're trying to stop you from finding out who they are, what they are. Some spirits have specific things and specific types of disturbances that they will do, such as throwing a book or turning off lights, or potentially they will turn off so they'll smack on car doors, closed doors, etc. You do have with this, like I said, little pieces of equipment that you can interact with. There is a Ouija board that you can find on every level, but this is never in the same place. It's always randomized, which is a good thing, but be warned with it. It does help you to find the spirit, and it does help you to find certain pieces of information, but however, it does come at a risk, which means your sanity will drop lower just by using it, which then makes you the target for the spirit. Now, as you can see, it's good and better to come on this game on a multiplayer co-op, because then you can have that little bit of backup as you are walking around and doing your mission. If you pass away, there is also a chance that you can come back from the dead, but however, that's a slim chance depending on the level you're on and the difficulty you're running. You do have this need to interact with your environment on this game, which is a major plus with me. The interaction can come from various different things, from opening doors, opening cupboards. You will need to find certain items, such as the ID of the ghosts, just so you can now do the exorcism on it. This is something that I do like. I do wish that they'd add extras to it though, where you would have to find not just the ID, but also to find an item that they love, for example. Now this does mean that you have to physically go around the house, the location, and you have to interact with anything and everything. Then this makes you need to be on site at all times and not hiding in a van somewhere. So you need to move, you need to look around. You cannot exercise the spirit without their ID, which is a major, major plus, and something that I like from this game. Now there is one thing you need to be vaguely aware of, and that is that this game has a lot of jump scares in them. These These come out of absolute nowhereness, which is something which I think is an amazing little thing. Very similar to that of Demonologist, where there is ghosts, where there is similar to that of Demonologist, where there is jump scares about, but these can sometimes be a little bit more in your face. Your ability to banish the demons do come with this spray can and signets that you need to perform, as well as read this book to help banish the spirits. Like I said, if you die beforehand as well, you can die in this game. I'm afraid the spirits can kill you off, and you can be hunted if your sanity drops. If that does happen, you can assist still, but only in the background. You can't interact with anything once you are dead. So for rating these games between the two, both games have brilliant appeal to them. They both have a great atmosphere. Um, that scary demeanour. However, I'm afraid to say Ghost Exile does come on top of Demonologist. Reason for this is because of your need to go around in a certain way that you do, and interact with various extra things. For example, you have to make sure that all doors are open. You have to look into all the drawers, and like I said beforehand, it would be nice if they had a feature of not just finding the ID but also finding the item for them and getting them to do interactions. Maybe getting the spirit to do more of, like for example, with here on Demonologist, certain areas you ask the spirit to throw a ball, it will throw a ball. Demonologist is not all lost though. It is a brilliant game. I just feel it needs a little extra in terms of helping you when you're starting up in the game. More locations, for example, just to start off with, not just one which you need to interact with multiple times and grind. So that's just my list. So I hope you all enjoyed. There'll be more coming soon, so stay tuned for the next episode.